audio marks coming to you from the Sachem Public Library. Welcome to the Marks for Life podcast with your hosts, Jimmy, CJ, Jared, and Joe, the Four Horsemen of Wrestling Podcast, four casuals turned Marks wrestling fans to give you a direct line to all things in the squared circle. We pull no punches, we hit hard, and we will slam you with all the info you need to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, marks of all ages, are you ready? Because...
You know what? You just made the list.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Marks for Life Podcast. I am your reigning, defending, undisputed Marks for Life predictions of the world. And Jared is my bitch.
And I'm your other co-host, Jimmy.
Swallow, man.
Oh, God.
You have to deal with this till April.
Boy, it's too long. It's only like a month and a half. It's still too long.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, God is right.
Oh, my God.
It still hurts.
I am the God King, everybody.
You're something.
All right.
Yeah, that's our feelings on this week's episode because of this stupid-ass pay-per-view.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Not a great Raw. Not a great Raw at all. SmackDown was interesting, and I actually do want to talk about that later.
Yeah,
We talk about that with the Chamber because that's the big thing with the Chamber.
All right.
Say we talk about that with the Chamber. I think I got Jared's old
That's
mic.
the mic I got.
Son of a bitch.
CJ got my busted one. We got him now. Whoever has the belt has to use the busted mic.
God damn it.
My
hate
bad.
all
I
of
wasn't
you.
paying attention.
No, it's fine. I did.
No, it's better. Dude, this is better. This is better.
All right.
Son of a bitch. All right.
All right, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start
Let's
with
start with
AEW?
Jimmy Uso, because let's get this fucking out of the way. All right, so Jimmy got in trouble with the law again,
Just a bit.
Just
and so did Jimmy Uso. So the story here goes, reported by TMZ, Jimmy and Naomi were driving through Detroit. Apparently Detroit has a lot of fucking one-way streets, but no one fucking knows. Naomi was driving, was pulled over. Cops said, "Hey, ma'am, you're driving on the wrong side of the road." And then they smelled some booze. They're like, "Have you been drinking tonight?" Apparently Naomi was saying stuff to the cop. Cop was saying to calm down. Jimmy Uso decides to square up, nut up, shut up, rip the shirt off, and say, "You want to go, bro?" And cop gets scared shitless because Uso's a fucking wrestler and a Samoan and a minority, and then he brings out the taser.
He didn't tase him. It was like it was for protection.
It was protection.
And then that was.
And then he got arrested.
They both did. Yeah.
That was just
No, they both got brought in. They both.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
They both got brought in, but Jimmy was the one that like squared up the cops. So
I mean that was
a lot
I
worse.
mean that was the main headline. So
Right.
of course that was
They
gonna
both got brought in. They both got taken off bail. I think Naomi tweeted like, "We're together, unity. We're both idiots," and you know.
What bugs me about this, and that not a lot of people are bringing up. This is like his fourth.
Well, I get
Fourth
confused
one.
because didn't Jay also do this?
They did this both
No,
last
Jay-
year.
no,
It's hard to keep track. They both
both
have-
of them last year did this.
Right.
Something similar to this.
And then
Okay.
Jimmy did it back in 2011, 2013 with Drunken Alter. Well, no, 2011 was a drunking while driving.
Was it a
Drinking-
DWI or was it a
Driving while intoxicated.
Let me tell you something.
DWI.
English is a hell of a language.
It is.
especially
D-
with the broken mic?
And
it
the
is.
acronyms. He had a DWI back in 2011 and 2013. He was driving with a suspended license.
Oh,
So
good
you
stuff.
really shouldn't be in a fucking car.
Basically, neither
he
one of
wasn't-
these guys
well-
should be driving.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, he wasn't driving. So
Right.
thank God for that.
But
Still
he's-
drunk, still squaring up a police officer.
I mean, squaring up a police officer is like,
He's trying to top
what
it.
the hell
what
are
are you
you
doing?
So
Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he was intoxicated, but he wasn't behind the wheel. You know, he wasn't. It wasn't good, but it wasn't anything horrific.
if he
Naomi
wasn't-
was mostly in the wrong, and then Jimmy's like, you know what? I got an idea. Let's square up the cop. Oh God.
I mean, it could have been a
And
scenario where the cop was just like really driving into Naomi. I mean, like it kind of goes back.
From
and
what
forth.
I heard, he was, you know, asking like questions, like pushing her. But that's what you need to do when she's driving while intoxicated on the wrong side of the street. So
was she intoxicated as well? or
yeah,
was it-
she was drunk.
Oh, okay.
They both were drunk.
Oh, okay.
They both were drunk. I don't know who was more drunk, but they both were drunk. And then Jimmy considered it very confrontational, which it was, because he's a police officer and Naomi's in the wrong. And And there you go. And alcohol's a hell of a drug. It's a good day. Is a good day. Can we just cut it?
This. What the fuck? Jimmy!
Here, use my mic for right now. I'll see what I can do about fixing
We're
it.
having some technical
I'm getting a new
difficulties.
mic. I'm getting a new mic. I'm done with this shit. I'm getting a new mic.
Well, I was going to let you go off on the spiel while I fixed it.
No, because
Okay.
We are currently having some technical difficulties. We're switching out CJ's mic, unfortunately, for a working mic. So bear with us while CJ's off the frame for a little bit. Definitely gonna have less of a headache, I'll tell you that much.
your ass,
All right. If in case you didn't know, CJ is threatening me. I didn't think he needed his mic to know that's what he was
Where's
doing.
the police officer that arrested you?
Yeah, where's the
When
cop?
you need him?
I think that I mean I guess we need to talk about the ramifications as far as WWE, AEW, and whatnot. Their contract expires, Jimmy, I believe in like around WrestleMania time, right? After WrestleMania?
April.
Right.
April.
After after WrestleMania time. So it's there was always the question: are they going to AEW? Blah blah blah. I think we all pretty much agree this favors WWE a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the leverage left
yeah.
the Usos pretty hard.
Yeah, they now have like all the cards here. The reality is the Usos are one of the top tag teams out there, especially one of the top free agent tag teams. So if AEW did want them, I think it's going to be a lot harder to get them now because WWE is just going to really tie the chain around them, if you will, after this mess.
I'm looking at it the opposite way with AEW. I think they might stay away from the Usos because of all it's like consistent bad. Son of a bitch! What the fuck?
It could be the wire at this point.
Ah!
We'll worry about that later.
This is
If you
good-
want to use
this is a good day.
mine, you can.
No.
This is a good day.
I'm pissed. But AEW might even. What are we looking at?
No, I was just whatever.
Oh, okay. AEW might even steer away from the Usos because of this, because they don't want any bad press.
For sure.
Especially because they're in their infancy, and WWE can use that as leverage.
Yeah,
That is true.
I think it's both ways.
I think it does go both ways,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say it would deter him completely, only because I like to think of when it comes to these promotions, they're just like getting teams and trading off players in football. And yeah, the situation's bad, but football players still get traded off to different teams, and they've done far worse things.
Well, I think a great example is in the recent news is Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
I don't know how much
that's,
you guys.
that's what I was gonna bring up.
Kareem Hunt, for those listening who don't know, he was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's different because the Usos are a tag team. They're not the most amazing. They're a very good. Kareem Hunt was like a top 3 running back in the entire league. He was an amazing player. This guy was like out of his mind, and he's only been in the league for like 3 years, 2-3 years. And what winds up happening is a video surfaces, I believe, from January, and where he pushes a guy into a girl, and the girl gets knocked over, and then he kicks the girl while he's down, and it's just awful. It's not pretty. And obviously the Chiefs release him. The NFL, however, there's definitely a big comparison with the NFL and WWE because the NFL botch these issues a lot. And just like Vince McMahon can't really control these issues either. So the NFL have finally kind of developed a bit of a policy. There was a very famous story. You guys know Adrian Peterson, a very famous running back.
Jimmy, do you know him?
It's not ringing a bell.
Adrian, very, very famous running back. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. There was a story several years ago. He beats his kid with a stick as a punishment, as a reprimand, and the NFL didn't even suspend him, didn't do anything, and the viewers of the NFL had this outcry like, what the hell are you doing? You need to suspend. And eventually they wind up holding him out. So my point being, Hunt is now on the Cleveland Browns. So he got signed. It was a minor contract, but he got signed. So it's just showing that like this type of like Jimmy was saying, that behavior is obviously 10 times worse.
Yeah, but in WWE, I'm going to compare WWE and NFL, and I'm going to compare it to something like AEW and the XFL. Because I'm comparing it in the way that
Wow.
they're,
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
they're in their infancy.
Yeah.
They cannot afford any bad press.
Correct.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's another football company that just had their first
the
games
Alliance of American Football.
Okay.
So that's actually a much better comparison.
All
just
right, I don't even-
currently.
Well, regardless, WWE and NFL are very established. Son of a bitch.
Okay, I think
I'm
it may be
moving.
the.
I'm moving over there. I am moving over there.
We're gonna need to do a lot of editing.
This is just.
All right. So yeah, what CJ was saying was yes, all elite wrestling is right now in its infancy. You can't afford to have bad press. You can't afford to take big risks with troublemakers. You need to because you need to get stability. You need to grow as a company. So do you really want, regardless of talent right now, a tag team that has drinking problems? You can't go down in any way right now. You can only climb up. So if you're climbing up, you can't have anything deter you. You have to have stability. You're looking at guys that, everyone's got a good head on their shoulders relatively. Everyone's stable. Everyone's a good wrestler.
Yes,
and so
come in.
on and so forth.
Just making sure this works.
So
yeah,
then
I think we found the problem. I'll let Chris know about it, but let's continue.
and then you have the Usos, which both of them consistently have this issue. They're WWE bred guys. They have this Samoan line all throughout WWE. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer that after this, WWE now holds all the cards here. They're going to get a contract. AEW is going to shy away. They're going to stay in WWE for sure. I think that's pretty much what the ramifications here are.
Okay.
There's going to be no punishment, and the
Yeah.
Usos are probably just going to stay in WWE. I
Yeah.
think that's what all this means. I don't expect any punishment. I don't expect them to get buried on at Elimination Chamber. I mean, we'll get to our picks, but I really think the only long-term ramifications of this is that nothing's going to change. They're just going to stay in
Well, they're
WWE.
gonna have it. They're gonna have it probably a shittier contract.
They might.
They
might.
probably came in once like AEW was like looking for people that they were gonna spice up. I mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, the Usos probably had a pretty good, leverage point of
Yeah.
like getting new contracts from
and-
either WWE that really benefited them, that make them get better championships, have better merch sales, some time off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now a lot of it's kind of gone.
It's all gone.
I
It's
think
pretty
the
much gone.
ramifications for this might be that they lose at Elimination Chamber.
But I mean, we'll get to it. But chances are, I actually thought they were going to lose regardless. But we'll get to the predictions. I think. To be honest, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen where they get into this type of trouble, and then they reward them. I've seen that happen just to freak out the WWE universe. But we'll see.
Hold on, Jared. I forgot to mention this. You know, the Bar lost to 2 makeshift tag teams for the tag team championships.
What do you? Well,
They lost to Braun Strowman
and Nicholas, and then this. Yeah, I know. Because I remember I was talking about the Rumble and saying, like, when the Bar was facing this makeshift team, I'm like, I'm not letting this happen again. I'm picking the stupid part. I'm picking the stupid team. They're gonna win. I know it this time.
I think the stupid team's just gonna keep going, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of stupid teams, just because I really want to bring this up, the Revival are tag team champions finally.
Thank God. Okay.
Did you call the Revival stupid?
Let's be honest right now. Let's be real. They were repugged because they were not given the great opportunity. I'm not saying first off, I love them.
Yes.
And they were being treated crappily.
Yes.
And now they finally get it because now there's a real threat of them leaving the
Right.
company.
So let's jump into this a little bit. How much on a percentage buy? Okay, you got 100% in total. What percentage is the Revival winning solely due to the fact that the AEW is competition, and what percentage is it that it's deserved and everyone knows it's deserved and WWE finally gave the rub? What percentage? What is the split?
75-80%.
75-80%.
I'm gonna be like, there was definitely like Triple H in the back going like, "Hey Vince,
Right.
we gotta really put out these belts on. If we do that, we'll lose them." And they're a really great tag team. And Vince is like, fine, god damn it.
Right.
But I get to tell off Becky at the end of the show.
Right.
And
I get to yell at Becky.
And I guarantee you that's the exact conversation that they had. But
I think the only reason they won the tag team championships is because of AEW.
Nothing else, just solely because they are under contract until what, 2021 or 2020? So, I mean,
2021.
yeah. So it's like I'd like to think that there was some part here that whether it's Triple H or something in the office that's saying, look at these guys. Look what a joke the Raw tag teams are right now. And nothing. I don't want to take anything away from Roode and Gable because that was a great match from all four competitors. It really was. It really was. WWE finally let them go. How long was that match? 20 minutes? 25?
It was a good match.
That was
I
a
liked it.
really, really good match. Towards the end, you see the crowd starting to get into it. When it first started, the crowd was dead, and eventually it builds up. You got the "This is awesome" chant. I hope that regardless of why this happened, we could finally get, a great Raw tag team and maybe a great feud and great matches. When I don't know who's hurt. Akam, I think, is the one that's hurt on AOP.
I don't think it matters.
But
It doesn't matter, but yeah.
But once they come back, we jump into AOP revival. Like we can really make this, good again. Make the Raw tag teams, respectable.
Make tag team championship
Great again.
wrestling great again.
Jared, here's the key word you said. They can do that.
Right? Yeah, I know.
But
I guess I'm an optimist.
again, it doesn't suit you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I feel that you're making the revival the champs here. I mean, I guess they could just hot shot it back next week. I mean,
I think what the revival needs are new belts.
Is it on the pre-show? By the way,
It's not even announced.
It's not. It hasn't been officially announced. I guarantee you,
It's probably going to be on
There's
the
only
pre-show.
been 7 confirmed the last time I checked.
Yeah,
Yes,
but it's
7.
2 elimination chambers.
No, that's true. I'm just saying there's just 7 confirmed. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would expect it to probably be on the pre-show. It's rumored to be on the pre-show, but
I
who
think just
knows?
throw it to Fastlane or an episode of Raw. I don't fucking
See,
care.
but that's the problem. Like, I'd rather not even have it on the pre-show. Build up something. We don't even have Rude and Gable, have that happen on Raw, and then build something up. Get a tag team in there. I don't know who, because Raw tag teams are just so terrible.
B team.
That's
B team,
my
yeah,
point
B team.
exactly. But whatever. At the end of the day, I'm happy about it, regardless of why. The right tag team is champion on Raw, right? I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, let's just hope they do something good with
care
it going
because
forward.
We traded the revival for Becky.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this shit. This fucking shitbag bullshit.
Okay.
That is Vince McMahon saying, "Fuck you, Becky. We're gonna take Becky out of the main event and then put in Charlotte."
See, this is why it's good, though. This is why it's
I
actually
know
good.
why. I understand the reasons, but I'm still pissed.
Which is why it's working.
I don't care.
It's completely doing its
It's
job.
bullshit.
I do have a better way they could have done it.
Me
Doesn't
too.
matter
Me
how
too.
they could have done it.
All right,
they
CJ
fucking did it.
They kind of did fuck it up. I will agree with him on that. And I don't like it.
I think there's
but
better
I
ways
think there
to
was
do
a
it.
better way to do it. And I think the idea should have been
Fuck you, Vince.
you forced yourself into the Royal Rumble match when you weren't supposed to.
Right, I would have had Charlotte.
Charlotte
Yeah.
was in there the longest, and then that's technically how
I
they should
would
have
have
done
had-
the
Natalia was in
story.
there the longest.
I would have had.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
Well, if Charlotte was in there the longest, I would have gotten more points.
I would have had.
Shut up.
I would have had Charlotte win the Rumble. And I picked it to win the Rumble, and this has nothing to do with me, whatever. It's so much easier to throw Becky. I compare a lot of this to the Daniel Bryan stuff of WrestleMania 30, where everyone's just clamoring for it, and WWE just keeps making us wait, and it just made 30 so much better. Now it's a little different because everyone kind of knew what we were shaping this into, but what I think the biggest reason I think that this isn't very good has nothing to do with the fact that they just fisted Charlotte in, because everyone hates it and everyone's supposed to hate it, and it's perfect. That part is good. I think you just pretty much undermine the entire Women's Royal Rumble.
I'll agree with you on that.
You have a moment, and you don't have to get rid of the moment, but you have Becky Shaw, and now you just suspended her for 60 days. Why? Because she doesn't know respect.
All right, I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna be completely honest. There have been instances. There's a couple things. One, Daniel Bryan was never supposed to go on to the main event.
Correct.
It's all because of CM Punk leaving that they had to fucking change everything. Two, there have been instances in the past where they completely disregarded the Men's Royal Rumble. Case in point, Rey Mysterio winning and then losing the spot to Randy Orton. Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble in 1999
All right,
and then
that's
losing
different.
it to Stone Cold Steve
That's
Austin.
that one.
That's another fair point.
But that one is outrageous because it's Vince McMahon.
But like,
That's
if
not,
someone brings that up, it's like.
I'm not. They do it a
There's
lot.
continuity, man.
They do it a lot, but that doesn't mean it makes me want to deal with it every time it happens.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
It happens.
happened.
100%.
It's
It happens
just
all the
bullshit.
time. It happens. Well, you're just too butthurt to even be a part of this conversation. To be
Shut the
completely
hell
honest.
up. I am butthurt.
Okay, relax. I do agree you are butthurt on this, but that's
You are,
besides
yeah.
the point.
That's
I agree,
exactly the point.
I agree. I actually do agree with him. I think there should have been a better continuity error because what they
Yeah.
did
Should
was
have just been Ronda versus Becky.
exactly.
No. See, I
I
disagree
think
with you.
I think they're still building to that. It's just I don't know why they're putting Charlotte
I
into
think
this.
Oh, you see, I adamantly
I don't think it's
disagree
gonna.
there.
I don't think it's gonna be a triple.
what
threat.
I can see.
You don't think this is
No, I
going to
think
be
that,
a triple threat?
No, I think that it will. My hope is, and what I'm thinking is that it's gonna still lead to Becky and Ronda.
At Mania?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
yeah, it's still gonna be.
Nah, no chance.
I got
This is. Yeah, go. You go first. You go
Okay,
first.
so there are rumors of having Ronda Rousey signed on for one more match after WrestleMania.
And that's against Becky.
That would be against Becky.
Yes.
There's a
That's-
couple ways they can go about this with they can either make it a triple threat or the main event of Fastlane can be Becky versus Charlotte.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like Becky versus Charlotte, and then
And
the
I
winner
think
gets
the
the
winner-
main event.
Yeah, either the winner gets the main event or if Becky wins, she gets inserted into the main event. You know, I think that there's a couple ways they're going to go about
This
with
is this is how it should be booked. First off, Charlotte 100% needs to be in this match. And 100%. Yep.
No.
That's the reality of the situation. I
No.
don't care how much you hate her character, but she is an outstanding wrestler, and she is part of the respectability of this women's division right now. Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda.
Her respect can go fuck
The
herself.
three, CJ, for God's sakes, if you're not going to be a part of this like normal conversation, then just shut the hell up.
Never. You can't mute me.
Actually.
I just did.
So Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky, all three of them have been such a great part of this of the women's division, and all three of them deserve to be in this main event. 100%, 100%. That's the reality
Fine,
of the
fine.
situation. It's
I'm fine.
Okay.
It's the complete truth that these three have built this up. And these three deserve to be in it together. Becky is amazing. Ronda's amazing. And Charlotte is amazing. Everyone's very hopped up on the fact that Charlotte's been in the spotlight too long and blah, blah, blah. But she's amazing. You can't say she's not great. Because she is. She even knows how to control the crowd when they start chanting Becky. Very few people even know how to handle that. You see how Ronda could barely even deal with it. All three deserve this spot. Now, what should happen at Mania is you have Becky pin Charlotte. Now, this is all, kind of contingent on when Ronda leaves. But I would have Becky pin Charlotte to end the Becky-Charlotte feud. Put an end to this. Then, again, assuming Ronda will come back for one more, you have Becky and Ronda face one-on-one. So we get that one-on-one match at whatever the one after, what is it, Backlash? The one after,
Yeah.
So you have Becky and Ronda face off there. Becky go over. Ronda takes her break. The thing with Charlotte ends because Becky's now beaten her, 887 times in a row at this point. And that's it. Becky's champ. All three great women got the rub. Ronda go has kids. Charlotte stay, however we want to do it after that. But that is, in my opinion, how it should go. And I really think Charlotte deserves the rub here. 100%. She deserves to be in this match. She's built this. They've all built this.
Okay, can
So
we
that's
just
just my- that's
can
my
we,
little point.
Can we interject because I think me and CJ kind of agree that that's kind of like
I see it
we-
happening. I'm just
we-
not happy.
Yeah, I'm not
All
happy
right.
about it either.
That's my
And
opinion.
My opinion on this is that okay, you make a very excellent case that
Mm-hmm.
all three deserve to be in the spot, and I think that's possibly true. Maybe it is true, and I'm putting my own personal thing into it. But I feel that Charlotte has already gotten so many more
Right, that's the
opportunities than
argument.
Becky, and that doesn't really. It's not really called for that. I mean, you kind of agree with that. I think.
I do and I don't because I do also like the tie-ins between WrestleMania and SummerSlam 2018. How she kind of interjected herself and then stole the belt from Becky,
Right.
from Carmella.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
didn't
how
even think of that.
it is going full circle. I am butthurt that we're not getting Becky versus Ronda in the main event of WrestleMania. That's just personal issues. But realistically, it is the best way. I've been pissed at Charlotte for years. She broke Asuka's streak. She took the
Yeah.
belt from Becky. She took the spot from Becky. I know where it's gonna lead. It's just I'm just not gonna be happy until
You know what it is also, Jimmy? It's if this wasn't the main event of WrestleMania, I'd feel a lot differently. If this wasn't the first women's main event, I'd say to myself, you know what? Charlotte's gotten the rub up so many times. This really should be around. It's just the fact that this is the history-making match, and I feel all three just deserve to be
Do
in
you
it.
think that
That's my feeling.
Do you think we should have had something where instead of Becky just losing the spot outright, Charlotte should have beaten her in like the main event of Fastlane to get entered into the
I think
like they
that
should have built up Charlotte getting herself into the match.
I think Charlotte again. I don't completely dislike this way because WWE knows that it's just for the sole purpose of making everyone angry. But everyone's not that angry because everyone kind of saw it. Like we're not all stupid. We know kind of we were barreling towards this triple threat. But I just think Charlotte winning the Rumble probably would have been the best way to put Charlotte in. If you wanted Charlotte in, if Charlotte was going to be in, she should have just won a match. And me personally, completely, and then we find a way to throw Becky in somehow. Now the question is how you throw Becky in.
There's another.
I'm not sure.
There's another rumor that's going around.
Oh boy.
Ric Flair's coming back in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, for his birthday.
It's his birthday. His birthday.
So so Ric Flair's gonna go to Raw and celebrate, right? And you know who's suspended right now but doesn't give a fuck she's suspended?
No one's hitting Ric Flair or whatever you're about to say.
No, not hitting. Becky breaks his arm to get us to the match.
No.
What
is that an actual rumor? Or do you just make that up in your head?
No, I saw it. Like that could be a possibility. People are saying that could
he
be a thing.
is so old and so beaten down from his life right now.
But
He's
showing
Ric goddamn Flair.
You're not doing
but
that.
Becky owes him for him costing her the women's championship, or what was it, the Divas championship?
She can
back in
come out.
2016.
She can come out and tell him up, but you're not bodily harm. You're not harming Ric Flair. It's just not what you do.
You can threaten it.
You sure? You can
Like
do it,
Seth
yeah.
Rollins did to Edge.
This is just not.
She's taking.
This has spiraled out of control. Let's move on to AEW, please.
I'm just saying.
I'd really appreciate it if we did.
I do have one more thing.
Oh, sweet
No,
Lord.
no. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I want to branch off the point that he made about Charlotte breaking Asuka's streak. Where the fuck is Asuka? It's what, 3 weeks?
I have so many issues with all the missing people at Elimination Chamber. My God.
Asuka, R-Truth.
My God. Why we're not screw R-Truth. We're not he doesn't. But why we need Strowman Corbin instead of like Asuka defending the belt is
You want to save that for later?
yeah, we'll jump into the actual pay-per-view.
All right. So let's talk about AEW.
All right. So I watched the rally.
Yeah.
The rally was fucking amazing. That was insane. And then I was keeping tabs on it ever since. They sold out the pre-sale in 12,000 pre-sale codes in under 30 minutes. It was like 28 minutes. They broke the all-in record for selling out. And then when it came time for the actual thing, on Wednesday, the general sale, they sold out in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, 18,000 seats?
Yeah,
16,000, something like that. Yeah.
But they broke that record for time to sell out the tickets as well as the number of seats.
Yes. I think that AEW being as successful as it is early is obviously, of course, due to the fact of the talent it has. It hasn't done anything wrong yet. But the reality is, us included, everyone is sick and tired of WWE having a monopoly over the industry and being able to put out whatever crap they want, good or bad, and have no competition making them better.
Especially in like stadium size areas, because how
many times
I wanted to watch like Ring of Honor, like go to a Ring of Honor show and it would be at MSG or Brooklyn or something like that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there is a Ring of Honor show coming out to MSG.
Yeah, I know.
Soon.
Yeah, I know.
I find it sickening how they'll come out at WrestleMania, and the reality is WrestleManias have not been very good lately. They haven't, in my opinion.
I mean, this build-up currently right now is sucking really bad.
The only build-up that's going on that's good is Becky, Ronda, Charlotte. That's the only build-up they had towards WrestleMania that makes anyone even want to turn into
Brock Rollins. I think people just to see Rollins win.
Not yet.
He
Not
won't.
yet.
He won't win. But just to see, come on. I just look. like 99% of me is just like Rollins is gonna win, and there's that 1% where it's just like, oh god, they're gonna do this, aren't they? Like we'll see.
Brock wants to drop it in Saudi Arabia.
It's like, oh yeah. So like, I think
more Saudi Arabian money first. That's what
Yeah.
he wants.
I think AEW's success, personally, is more a product of its competition for WWE. Real, legitimate competition since WCW. And all AEW has to do leading up to,
Double or Nothing?
them actually, or whatever, their TV deal,
just
not
checking.
whatever they call it. I think that their biggest job is right now, don't screw it up.
Yeah,
just you don't have to do anything outrageous, AEW. You don't have to stick to what you're doing, stick to the plan, don't mess it up because people are going to keep buying in.
So what I have noticed based on what the talent that they have now and compared to what they did at All In, I think the main problem that All In had, I think they kind of scrubbed away when Double or Nothing comes out, because All In had the problem of matches going a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And going unnecessarily longer. Not that they weren't good or anything, but unnecessarily longer than they should have.
And that was
So now it's going to probably be a better,
Because there's
fuller card.
more talent, there's just more stuff.
Well, there's different talent. Not that there's more. There's different talent.
Uh-huh.
There's no, and I hate bringing
Well-
this up and disrespecting the man, but like Okada took a lot longer.
Oh, that's who it was. I thought it was
that one-
Omega Pentagon
Well-
for a second.
Well, yeah, that one too, but like everyone progressively like took longer than it should. But like that one took a little bit longer than all the other ones put
Okada
together.
also had like a chip on his shoulder too.
Yeah, and that was the reason why I think it went longer too.
Um,
And I hate talking badly about the man because I love Okada, but
Yeah.
I mean,
eh, eh,
but that was like a
I like Tanahashi.
Didn't,
Okay,
didn't he just drop the belt too?
Jay White,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I just liked him. I liked his whole
You like
gimmick.
his John Cena type esque.
Okay, he was a cool John Cena. He had the air guitar and everything. He had the cool music. He was known as like the man who came around once in a century. That's a cool name. He was known as the Ace. I was like, that's cool. Okada's just
The Rainmaker.
yeah, but you can
The
also
guy who's had probably some of the best matches
you
in
can
New
say
Japan.
the same thing about a porn star. You know, it doesn't even
Can
matter.
you?
Rainmaker?
Oh man, I'm glad we went off this tangent. We
Yeah,
needed
it's
to.
But,
a hell of a
but,
But
tangent.
like a problem that they clearly solved based on what talent they brought in, I think will be solved when Double or Nothing
yes,
comes
And
out.
I think
absolutely, because they're getting stronger.
And
They're
All In
getting
has-
stronger.
And the thing is with AEW, they've had a huge fan base for a number of years. They've been building up with this, with their being the elite stuff. I'm not sure if anyone else watches that. I started watching it recently.
How was it?
It was good. It's been very good. It's been funny. You know, it's a good way to just, and if they can bring those characters to life on the television screen, more power to them.
Yeah.
And not only that, the thing is, they have a lot of events coming up. They have the Double or Nothing event. They have the one in Jacksonville, which realistically, they could do the stadium.
Yeah, they could do a state. They
I
could,
think they'd have to. I mean, they're,
I think they
they're
would
probably
have to see what their what is it? How many people buy?
right. They got to see
Double or
the.
Nothing on.
Yeah.
They
Fight
gotta
App.
try to see the
we're buying it,
projection.
I know that.
Yeah, we're going to see Double or Nothing, but the big thing here, not sure if you guys know, Chris Jericho just recently announced his Jericho Cruise for his second one. That's going to be in January. AEW is sponsoring that.
Oh, I didn't know.
Ring
that.
of Honor
I
is
didn't know
done with that now. So, like, AEW now technically has a third show. It
Yeah,
has
I
a
think-
third show
I think
booked
Chris Jericho is like the biggest thing that's really helping AEW a lot
because
because
of the veteran experience.
well, and the fact being a part of WWE is so huge because there's people like us where we concentrate so much on wrestling. We know who Omega is. We know you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like everyone or pretty much anyone that's a wrestling fan knows who Chris Jericho is. He has become such a very close to a household name. So I think he is the biggest tipping point of bringing people that are not huge wrestling, casual wrestling fans that just watch WWE that say
Yeah.
like AEW Chris Jericho, like wow, you know what I mean, like, and then like not everyone knows Omega, not everyone knows Hangman Page, you know what I mean, like I think Jericho's such a big star all over the world right now that he is the biggest tipping point to really help push viewers towards AEW.
Oh, definitely. And And not only that, he's very business savvy, and that's
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That's the huge thing. He
You
was
wanna-
able to sell out his crews. He was able to drum up interest by doing the all-in thing, and he's also having AEW, his company, pretty much sponsor the cruise, the company he's a part of.
Yeah.
WWE wasn't allowed, or he tried to get WWE and stuff.
He just
They
knows
didn't
how to
think there
do
was
it.
he didn't think there was going to be a WWE didn't think there was going to be a market for it. They were wrong.
There's now a
obviously.
market.
There's now a market, and we'll see what happens.
They're venturing in different territories, and the biggest thing that AEW is doing well, they're not going at it in a WWE like fashion. They're going at it in a more indie fashion. They're going different avenues. They're partnering up with billionaires, but they're not partnering up with billionaires in the way like Vince McMahon would, which is like constantly sell out, just constantly have tours and everything. And I think that's going to be huge too, because I don't think they're going to do the live event road schedule something similar to WWE.
No, it's going to be less.
I think
No,
it's going to be
definitely
less.
gonna be less.
It's going to be less.
Which is going to be well on the talent as well.
Mhm.
So they're going
Yes.
about it in a very non-traditional sense, and by non-traditional, just non-WWE, and
Yes.
that's helping their case.
Right. Like I said, really everyone right now is just so sick and tired of WWE,
Yeah.
ruling the roost and bad booking.
And AEW also has a lot of connections, and I know Jimmy's brought this up. They do have a lot of YouTube presence, between the Nightmare Family with their building up to Double or Nothing. That's like their previews. They have Being the Elite. You have Sammy Guevara, who has his own YouTube. They have a lot of YouTube presence too, which is good. I think now that when the TV deal
And then you
helps,
have,
they could probably advertise those YouTube channels as well and stuff, because that's probably the best platform they can do that doesn't cost any money.
Yep, and then they also have Talk is Jericho, Jericho's podcast with all the podcasts that he's linked to as well.
Oh, yeah.
with like Conan's and he does other ones too. I forget which ones, but I know Conan. was one of them.
Taz, he does the Busted Open with
No, Busted Open is an XM one with Bully Ray,
Well, he could probably.
but
They could get Bully
yeah,
Ray
they could.
on there.
Yeah, they could probably get Bully. Well, I don't know. Is he still
Bully-
working with Ring of Honor?
Yeah, but Bully Ray was also at All In.
Well, yeah, but All In was sponsored by Ring of Honor though.
It was sponsored by the Elite. The Elite put their own money into there. Ring of Honor
Yes,
just
but
took
Ring of
part
Honor.
it.
Yeah, but Ring of Honor and Impact and I think New Japan donated guys.
Yeah, they donated guys, but not
But that-
funds.
True, but you saw that their promotion was the presence.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it depends. It depends on if Bully is. I think it would be interesting to see Bully Ray in a booking position. Honestly,
Oh yeah, something similar to what Billy Gunn is doing.
exactly. And Taz with wait, what is he on? He's like on CBS Sports or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something
CBS
like that,
Sports
yeah.
Radio. This is an interesting thing that I just come across while I'm on Instagram. Jericho is really stirring the pot here because he's in a picture with Dave Bautista, and all
Yeah,
the
I
comments,
saw that.
all the comments are about is Batista AEW confirmed.
Yeah, not a chance.
It's definitely not, but
It's not.
man, he knows how to stir the pot though.
But like, look at that. That's like just by being associated with an AEW star, and not.
I mean, Chris Jericho has 3 million viewers on Instagram.
He's just so big, and like I said, that's just he's such a businessman, and he knows more about the business than anyone else.
Yeah.
Just because of how much that WWE, how smart he is, how how many times has he reinvented himself? 5 times, 6 times? Like I can't even keep track anymore. I mean, he just he's amazing, and I'm such a big fan of his. I feel like everyone is, and especially what he's done in Japan and all this stuff. He is gonna be like the behind the scenes leader of pushing AEW.
I think he's
forward.
gonna have
He's
a
gonna-
lot of influence, not like
I think it's-
creatively, but
I think
just
he's like an
bus-
Undertaker-esque character. in
Oh,
this.
definitely.
Yes.
That's what I'm feeling.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Like that kind of locker room leader that they need, and I think as long as they get like a couple of Jerichos like that, but not too many, if they get like maybe 1 or 2 more, they can really boom off with AEW. I think we should take a quick break and then we'll go into Elimination Chamber. What are you guys saying?
Yep.
Yeah, so this break, I think, unfortunately, got to be a little solemn. Pedro Morales.
Oh,
the
shit,
first,
yeah.
Grand Slam, I believe. He's the first Grand Slam champion.
Triple Crown.
Triple Crown champion. My apologies. Thank you, CJ.
Shawn Michaels was the first Grand Slam.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But he sadly passed away. So 10 bell,
Condolences to you and your family, my guy.
so 10 bell salute to them. 2, 1, and we're back.
What up?
Oh, don't do that.
We're bringing that back.
No,
All right.
we're just keeping it buried.
All right, so we're gonna go into the Elimination Chamber card. All right, I got it. So, in a singles match, we have Braun Strowman taking on former General Manager, former Constable Baron Corbin. For the Cruiserweight Championship, we have a singles match with Buddy Murphy defending against Akira Tozawa. We also have the SmackDown Tag Team Championships being defended by Shane McMahon and The Miz, the best in the world, taking on Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. We have the Raw Women's Championship being defended by Ronda Rousey, who is going to be defending it against Ruby Riott. We have a handicap Intercontinental Championship match with Bobby Lashley, the champion, and Lio Rush defending it against Finn Balor. We also have... Why are you shaking your head?
It's
Just
terrible.
keep it-
It
just
just
keep-
Oh, okay.
sucks.
No,
I
just
was
keep
like,
going. No.
I was like, am
you're
I
correct.
wrong?
No, you're correct.
Okay.
You're
We're-
unfortunately correct.
No,
Okay.
we're in the same mindset.
Yeah,
like,
it's
this is just.
This is terrible.
Okay, and then we also have for the WWE Championship is going to be contested in an elimination chamber. It's going to be WWE Champion Daniel Bryan taking on Kofi Kingston, taking on AJ Styles, taking on Jeff Hardy, taking on Samoa Joe, and taking on Randy Orton, who's going to be entering last into the chamber. And then finally, to crown the inaugural Women's Tag Team Championships, we have Sasha Banks and Bayley, the Boston Hug Connection. They're going to be entering number 1 against number 2 team Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
No, we're saving it.
Well,
saving
also-
it. Oh my God.
While also taking on the teams of Nia Jax and Tamina, the Iconics Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Riot Squad, which is Liv Morgan and the Viking Sarah Logan, and finally, the favorites to win it all, the Fabulous Glow, Naomi and Carmella.
Why are we having this pay-per-view?
So
Do we want to start from the bottom up?
Yes.
Like
You
we
just-
did? Okay. So
It's all bottom.
I think you wanted to say something about the
let's start with
Braun
Braun Strowman, Baron
There's,
Corbin.
there's so much to be said about this. This is just a joke, guys. This really is. What are we doing? Oh, why? All right.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Wait.
What? Oh yeah, there's a prediction. Oh, it's no DQ, so Drew McIntyre can. No. This is just. Like...
Wait, it's no DQ.
Oh yeah, you didn't even know that. It just shows.
fuck?
It just shows. How...
Is it really? Because I could have sworn it.
I'm almost certain it is, guys.
Hold on, I gotta look this
Almost
up.
positive it's no disqualification.
Oh, Joe picked Strowman.
Yeah, obviously. All right. Well, while he looks at it, why just Asuka not being on this pay-per-view and Strowman Corbin like
Again.
I don't want to talk about this match anymore. Can we just go to the next one?
I thought you were picking Corbin.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, that was Bleacher. Bleacher picked Corbin.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. To continue some bullshit.
Corbin with
storyline.
the help
Who
of Drew
knows?
McIntyre.
No, everyone's picking Strowman. Strowman will win.
All right, next.
I just want to move on.
Cruiserweight Championship, we have Buddy
Jet-
Murphy defending against Akira Tozawa. Match of the night
On the pre-show,
on the pre-show. Match
Yeah.
of the pre-show.
I'm taking.
And you are right. It is no DQ.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Fuck.
Good lord. I mean, they have to, because if it's one-on-one, Strowman just kills him in a minute. You have to somehow sprinkle in McIntyre or chairs or something.
I'm not happy about this because then that means Baron Corbin's probably going to win, but I'm just going Braun. 'cause
No,
it's-
he's not going to win. He's not going to win.
Watch, Baron's going to end up winning.
That would suck.
All right. So
Oh, wait, you have Kurt Angle. He could cause Baron the win, and then we get Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania.
Ah!
the chill. I just got up my spine.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just ugh.
All right, Murphy Tozawa. I'm picking Buddy Murphy.
Murph.
Yeah,
Hold on.
and
As
Joe's
much as,
also
as
going
much
Buddy
as
Murphy.
as much as I enjoyed Akira Tozawa, it's Murphy.
Murphy's been great.
He's going Murphy.
Yeah,
Joe's
everyone's
going
going Murphy.
All right.
All right. Next up, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We got Mizzo Mac versus the Usos.
The penitentiary Usos.
I'm going to throw my hat towards Mizzo Mac.
Yeah, I agree.
I also agree. I think they're.
You're gonna change it mid podcast. Usos are gonna win. Usos.
No, I never.
No, it's gonna be
I
one
never
of those
had
last
the
minute
Usos.
things right before the pay-per-view starts,
Yeah,
just like
right.
it does every single pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miz O'Mac on this one.
Yeah, no, I said it. I said it sarcastically. I never. Thought no, honestly, I never thought the Usos were gonna win.
Okay.
Never. Now what? No,
Yeah,
no.
because I think the story that they're gonna try to do is that Fastlane. That's what we.
I think so. Yeah, because that's in Cleveland, Ohio. That's the perfect time to drop
Yeah.
the title and then have a heels turn.
Yeah,
Who would
turn heel.
Yeah,
I
well, no,
want-
who would they face though? That's the question.
I don't know.
Sanity.
New day. Sanity, for God's sakes. Don't even get me started. Sanity, my God. Then it's like they've been released. It's like that's just a joke in of itself.
Sanity. It's probably
Yeah,
good.
we're all going with Miz O'Mac. I really, I mean, Uso stood tall. That's also something you always have to look at. I
Yeah.
think we're just battling towards the heel turn by one of them. I don't know which one. I hope it's Shane. It won't be, but I hope it is. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right. Next up, we got Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey taking on Ruby Riott. Who do you got?
I think the question should be is
How long
how
is the
long
match
and
going to
how
take?
good is Ruby gonna come out of this?
I'm gonna say 13 minutes, and Ruby's gonna come out good.
Ruby's going to come out good because except for Rousey burying Bliss at SummerSlam, Rousey's put over everyone.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
say
why
13 minutes.
Yeah, the 13, 15-minute range is, I feel like it should be. Because we need a better heel coming out of the Mania season, and Ruby Riott is clearly
But good Lord, we just ham-fisted this in like a week. Like, I'm sure the match will be fine, but let me tell you something. No one cares about this. Everyone knows Rousey. Even you have like Charlotte being like, Ronda, I'll see you at Mania. Well, you could lose to Ruby. Like, it's just,
No, I just like how Ruby's like, why is no one paying attention to me? And she literally throws that on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's like,
Meanwhile, Asuka hasn't shown up in 3 weeks.
why is no one paying attention to you? Because you guys haven't even had anything. Like, this is nothing. Throw her in. Like, come on.
You almost put someone through the table with an effigy of their father on it.
Well,
Like,
that's-
my God.
Which you predicted, you sick animal. Let's not do this again. Let's not do this again.
Sorry, we need good laughs on here. My
Yeah.
God.
Oh God.
All right.
Yeah.
Next.
Wait. Are we all picking Ronda?
Yes, we're all
Yeah, we're
picking
picking
Ronda.
Ronda.
I'm definitely gonna go with Ruben.
I'm gonna go with Roddy Piper.
Yeah, right.
Comes back from the grave. Next up, we got the Intercontinental Handicap match. Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush defending against Finn Balor. I don't know how to feel about this.
This one has some unpredictability, at least as far as like who wins. I feel this one.
Joe has Bobby and Leo.
If you guys want to go, I'm going with Bobby and Leo. I think it's all terrible, but we gotta pick it.
I'm gonna
All
go
right.
Bobby and Leo.
All right, here's the thing. This is the whole broad scope here. It's a deflate. Like I just don't even want to talk about it. But okay, Balor cannot like you can't have Balor beat both and win the belt because then Bobby just looks like a complete fool. You just but then you don't.
If Finn wins, I think it's because he's gonna pin Leo Rush. It's not. Because,
It is, but
it's
just
not
you
because he's
can't-
gonna pin Bobby Lashley.
I know,
at
but
this particular.
but
moment.
Lashley will still look stupid. It's just, and you really want. Just think about this. You really want Finn Balor's coronation to win the first belt since the Universal Championship to be this shit? Like
No.
Good Lord,
I,
no.
I agree with
Good
you. It
Lord,
should
no.
not.
I
It
mean,
should, it's
I can't
going
even-
to be at Mania because I'm also picking Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush.
I mean, I
Or
can't even
if,
handle
if
this.
Finn does win, it's because there's gonna be. Well, no. 'Cause
But
it's
see, that makes it look even dumber.
It's like a DQ match, I guess. If like he gets a DQ or something.
Right, but that makes it look even dumber. You can't even win without two people in a chair. My God, like for God's sake.
This is why Balor needs to go to AEW
Why-
because he gets this shit.
I can't even.
Or go back to NXT real quick to have real matches with really good wrestlers.
This is
Or
this is-
SmackDown. Or SmackDown. Just
this
go
whole-
to SmackDown.
This whole thing is just a
Feud
nightmare.
with Daniel Bryan. That's
So
what
are we
needs.
all picking Lashley and Leo?
Yes,
Yeah.
we've
Go
not
ahead.
had a single different pick yet.
Yeah, let's just sit on this for God's sakes. Go to the next one.
All right. Fucking hell. What's next?
I think it's the two
chamber
matches.
match.
Oh
Matches, right?
shit. All right.
Let's do the women one.
I kind of want to save the women.
Yeah, save the one.
Fine.
the men's. I think Daniel's gonna win.
Of course he's gonna win.
All right.
But there's a real opportunity for Kofi Kingston to be WWE champion.
I'd be so hyped.
I'd be so hyped. Not only will he be the first black champion since The Rock, he'd be the first African, like actual from Africa, to win the WWE championship.
Still not gonna happen.
And shut up, Sharon.
I don't know why everyone.
He has been in everyone's mind about this since his feud with Orton in 2009.
Sure.
That was the first time I watched Monday Night Raw.
Second one eliminated.
Okay, I can.
And there's a good
So wait,
potential
is
of the
it-
New Day winning the belt and just, pit-pocking that around like they do, freebirding it.
I see. All right, so I'm picking Daniel Bryan to win. I'm predicting a feud between, because I feel like this is where Luke Harper comes back, and then we get the New Day versus the Green Day at Fastlane.
See his enthusiasm
And then
over here.
we
It's just
get-
amazing.
We get Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, with Kofi winning, and then Kofi ends up turning heel because he doesn't want to share the belt.
There's a lot of stuff happening.
I like
here.
that though. I like that.
It's
that
great.
would literally be the best thing
Because
to
who
happen.
the fuck else is gonna verse Daniel Bryan? I think we're only hyped now with Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston at Mania.
It's
and
not
that's
happening.
fucking sad.
It's just not happening.
I
And
just don't
so many
know
people on
anymore.
social media getting so excited about
What
Kofi,
if,
but
what
it's
if
just
he,
not
if
happening.
he gets the most eliminations, would you?
Who? Which?
Well, if Kofi Kingston, let's say, in this entire match, because we're also going to include most eliminations, just
Are
for the
we?
fun of
Because
it.
Joe didn't throw anything in, and I feel
Do you want to
bad.
ask him, or is he at work?
I don't care.
He's working. He's working.
He's working.
He's working.
All right, fine. We won't do it then.
Well,
but
Joe
let's say,
doesn't really work.
We could just
So let's-
pick it and not put it towards the official picks
Okay.
if you want to do
Alright,
that.
yeah,
that's
just because
fair.
then we just throw it in. You know what I mean? Like we
don't-
could just
this
talk
pay-per-view
about
may
it.
not even have to count because we still have Fastlane coming up, the Takeover.
technically, none of these really count until Takeover starts. Let's be
Yes.
honest by now.
Yeah, that's really what it's coming down to.
Yeah, I think Brian's definitely gonna win. The question is who's gonna look strong.
I think Kofi's gonna come out looking really. I think all of them are gonna look out strong,
Here's my-
except for probably Jeff Hardy.
Here's
but I think Kofi's gonna look the strongest.
this is my thing with Kofi. I hope I'm wrong. I think that they made him look strong in the gauntlet match, and then they're just gonna say he's exhausted and beaten and dead, and they're gonna get rid of him at a.
But what about
at an
Seth
early point.
Rollins? He did the same thing like a year prior.
You're right, and I think eventually we could catapult Kofi forward. But I think in this particular match, I don't know exactly how much. you're gonna see with
SummerSlam
Kofi.
main event.
I'm not sure.
WWE
Ooh,
Champion
yeah. Ooh.
Kofi versus Universal Champion Seth Rollins.
It's not. I don't. It's not happening.
that I would actually love that. That would be great. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's also kind of like the time like the New Day kind of. I mean,
They need something.
They're selling an actual cereal box that's not their own cereal box. Like, let's.
I still want to get the Bootios cereal.
I just want mine autographed, and then
I think
that's
the
gonna be
most-
worth a lot of money when the New Day breaks up, and I can't wait.
I think the most important person here, legitimately, that needs to look strong is Samoa Joe. I think we need to just start pushing him
What if Samoa
towards
Joe
something.
wins?
I think I want Samoa Joe to win this. He is who I want.
This is the
to
only
win.
realistic chance he has.
This-
It's like Bray Wyatt back in 2017
The fact
all
that
over
yeah,
again.
the fact that he has never held a belt
Oh
is
man,
is
if he gets
absolutely
that
ridiculous.
WWE Championship and then loses to Daniel Bryan, that'd be so sad.
What if he loses it to Randy Orton?
That would be way. That would be way worse. Oh my God, Jared just went bug-eyed. That's how terrible it would be. My God.
This could realistically be Daniel. What was it? The Green Day versus the New Day at WrestleMania, and then Randy Orton versus Samoa Joe for the WWE.
Yeah, because the New Day could take the belts realistically off of Miz and Shane on Fastlane, and then
I don't know.
they could and then literally Daniel Bryan will do the same thing.
See,
to
like,
the
and
belts
so,
that he did to the WWE
so many
Championship.
people felt that Orton was going to leave and go to AEW. Why would he leave this? He has to go 50% consistently and still get shots. I don't want to go on to like a crazy rant about my pure fire hatred for Randy Orton, but
But at some point we will get that fire.
But
red.
Wait,
my
I have a-
sweet lord, you just it was 9:58 on SmackDown. I looked at the clock. It's 9:58. Styles just beat Kofi. I'm like, here it comes. Here comes the RKO. Wow, they have the camera on Styles for 30 freaking seconds. Everyone know it's coming. Here it comes. Oh shit, there it is. Good work, Randy. You're a hell of a wrestler. My lord. Oh god, I can't. It's just oh god. He is just the worst. He's the worst. And you see if he actually like tried, he'd be so good. But he goes about 50%. He got the shoulder tackle, the whatever you want to call it, the turn thing, the DDT, the RKO, and he's banging on the ring. Good God. All right. I'm going to stop before I hurt myself.
Don't ever change, Jared. That was great. I loved it.
We need his bumps. We need his.
I'm gonna stop before I hurt myself or hurt others. But
can we? All right.
Sweet God. Let me tell you something. If Randy Orton wins at the Chamber, I'm going on a fat rant next week.
Jimmy.
Like hour-long, full podcast rant.
All right. So this is what we need to do. We need everyone to come as like, is there anything you're really pissed about this week? And before we do the podcast, we record it as a bump. Before we do any of that, and that's how we get our commercials. That's how we do it.
I like that idea. I love that idea so much.
Like Joe comes in after Brock retains the Universal Championship. Joe, you want a rant? Yes. Here you go. All right.
You, as soon as Charlotte beats Becky and Ronda.
Don't even fucking tempt me with that shit. We don't need a fucking flare. Doing this shit again. No. You don't tell me to fucking calm down. You poked this fucking button.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Bullshit.
You did.
I did.
Nah, we don't.
We have to finish. We have to finish these.
I don't need this shit again.
You see, like I
No.
jokingly get angry with a smile. Like CJ's actually angry.
We don't need this shit. No.
He's not.
No, this
He
is
has
utter
not stopped
bullshit.
staring at me.
No.
Jimmy,
None
you
of
did this.
Like, Charlotte, past couple triple threats, fucking beat Sasha and Becky, then beat Becky and Carmella. She keeps fucking
CJ,
beating
relax,
Becky. I'm not dealing
relax.
with this shit. She beat Asuka.
Someone mute him.
This is bullshit.
We're gonna mute you.
Fine, we're going to Elimination Chamber with the women. Fuck this shit.
All right, so we're all going with Daniel Bryan. Who do we think is actually going to get most eliminations?
I'm going to go with Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I really think
that there's if
They're
they're
going to shaft Samoa Joe again.
I know they're gonna do it.
I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe as most eliminations just because I think it's the most necessary.
You want to be optimistic, too.
Yeah, I just think it's the most necessary. You just had Kofi go over in the gauntlet. I feel like we could
I'm
use
gonna ask
this.
Joe.
You know,
if anything, well,
Yeah.
we're not gonna put it. We'll just
Well, no, I'll ask Joe anyway.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into the last one. The 12 women, okay,
let's not crap on those 12
Let's
women on
be
this.
real here.
They did a tag team one like 3 years ago, and there's the same fucking thing, and they had El Torito at that one.
See,
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, it was he wasn't in the match.
Yeah, because they had the Los Matadors.
Yeah, but
It was,
he wasn't
it was
in
like the
match.
first one. It was like 3 of them.
No, I know. But the thing is,
He was on top of the cage. What are you talking
he
about?
just squeezed through the elimination chamber because he's tiny. But like, I'm pretty sure.
we're off topic.
But like
Yeah,
the
we are
tag
off
team
topic.
one for the men, that had the most people in the chamber ever, because that had 13 at least, because you had all the New Day in there.
Yeah.
They all fit into a pod, which begs the question: can Nia and Tamina replicate that success?
Oh my god, I can't believe you brought that up. If you can fit Big Show in there and Samoa Joe, yes. I think you can. Yes.
Jared just got upset. He's like, "Don't bring up Samoa Joe like that."
All right,
Don't give me that crap.
I have-
We both-
Wait.
Don't
Who
give me
is
that
bigger?
crap.
Who's bigger? Nia Jackson, Tamina,
Guys.
the entire New Day,
guys,
or Big Daddy V?
guys. I
Oh
think Big
my
Daddy V.
God.
No, I actually did. Wait a minute. Wait a second here. No, I think it's actually the New Day. It is the New Day. But who's bigger, Nia and Tamina, or just Viscera, Big Daddy V? That's a legit question, guys. Big Daddy V clears 500 easy. Hang on a second. We laugh, but I actually think that Big Daddy V might be bigger than Nia and Tamina. I'm not kidding, guys. Why are you laughing? I'm serious.
I know, that's why it's funny that you're taking this so seriously.
Because like I'm actually thinking about like, sweet Lord, like that guy had straps and showing his. Big Daddy V. All right, moving on.
R.I.P. Big Daddy V.
Rip Big Daddy V, Viscera, world's largest love machine. We love you, I guess.
Oh my God!
Thank God. Thank you, Jared.
All right.
Oh man, this made us laugh so much. This is a great laughing gun.
All right.
Boston Oak Connection. Let's go,
Boston Hug Connection. Jimmy? Oh, boy.
Jimmy.
You say fire and desire.
No, it's not gonna be Fire and Desire.
If
Fuck
you
that.
say
No.
Fabulous Glow,
No, it's not gonna be Fabulous Glow either.
are you gonna?
You're picking the Iconics,
You're
aren't
picking Viscera.
You're picking the Iconics. Oh, sweet God.
My God, why did you go there? But I'm contemplating. This one's actually a little tougher.
No, it is. It is.
This one's a little tougher.
I know Visser has a huge shot.
Oh my god. Do you have any more Visser jokes that you want to say? Do you?
I'm trying to think of one.
No. I'm
I'm
really.
going brain dead though.
I think that.
What is wrong with you?
Well, that's a loaded question. We would need several doctors to figure
but,
that one
So
out.
did Viscera.
Stop.
All right.
Stop.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to hell for this, but I feel like only one doctor's needed. Sir, you need to lose some weight. I'm sorry. That was awful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How many doctors? What? Oh, you don't need that many doctors. You could bring in any two-bit pediatrician to tell you what he needs to do to help his health. I'm sorry. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Before I give my pick, Jared, what time do you have work again?
What happened?
What time do you have work again?
Yeah, it's not work. I'm playing soccer. I have like a half hour.
Oh, okay.
We have
All
time.
right. Oh my god. But yeah, if we can bring that back to like an actual conversation
Yeah,
for
this
2 seconds.
is spiraled.
Oh wow, I stopped the giggles.
Whew.
He's right. This one's actually tough because I do think that Nia Jax and Tamina have a real chance.
They
I
do.
just think I really think the tipping point is the fact that they stood tall, on Raw. I really think that's the tipping point. I think though I feel like those are the two teams that you could pick.
Yeah.
Unless you're a sick animal that picks the Iconics, which quite a few people are actually doing online. Quite a few.
I'm not doing that.
are
I'm
doing
only
it.
doing. I'll do that at like Payback or something like that. If Boston Hug win at Mania.
Yeah, I really
I think that's
I
that
think-
was more realistic point.
So we're all picking Boston Hug, right? Or
Well,
Jim?
Jimmy's still thinking
yeah,
about it.
I'm gonna go with Boston Hug, but like there is a realistic chance.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely, for sure.
So I guess let's talk about the bigger question. Who's gonna be their title defense at Mania? Is it gonna be the Bellas or is it gonna be Lita and Trish?
I think there's a
boy.
chance that it could be the Bellas, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't even know how I feel about Lita and Trish doing that, to be honest.
See, I
I think it depends what happens after it happens, and then that Monday Night Raw or Tuesday
Yeah.
SmackDown.
I think
happens?
I think we're looking too far ahead. I'm just hoping that this is at least a respectable chamber match.
I think it will. I don't. I mean, the last match that they had for all the women was
Look,
really good.
nothing
Most
again.
of the
I
women
don't.
in this match realistically know how to wrestle pretty well.
Right. See, that's
Arguably,
my.
The argument here is that like who's the shittiest wrestler in
Tamina.
this?
I'm sorry.
Great
but
point.
That was.
I mean, I was gonna put Mandy Rose in that category,
No.
but okay.
No. Let's just.
Let's just throw
This
it up
is-
there.
And then you
This
have
is-
and then you have like
Sasha's
one punch
working
man.
her,
You have
kind of.
one punch woman. Nia Jax over here. knocking
She's
people
called
out.
the Face Breaker.
Can we just give Tamina the most eliminations
Wait,
so
wait,
I can
I have
just
a
like
question.
shut the
Is
pay-per-view
Nia
off?
called the Face Breaker because she broke Becky's face, or is it because when she sits on men, she breaks their face?
I'd rather have more Viscera jokes.
Yeah, that wasn't even good. That just took the air out of my lungs, CJ. All right, this is my issue, and I've said this
You
on
have a
podcasts.
lot of- you have an
well, I
issue
have a
with
lot
every
of
issue.
issues besides my mental issues. No, I worry because it's such a thin division they're trying to make, and I just get what. And I don't want to say anything against the women because everyone we've all built towards this revolution. Everyone's played a part in it, but not there's a let's be frank here. The Iconics are not very good wrestlers at this point. They still have a lot to learn. You notice when they
So does
take
Nia.
what yes, but it's true. So does Tamina. You notice Mandy Rose is. I actually think Sonya Deville is actually pretty
Sonya
good. I actually think
Deville's
she's
nice.
very good. I actually do think she's very good. But there's I don't want there to be 12 wrestlers in this chamber when about half of them are not the strongest and they still have a lot to go.
So this brings me up to my follow-up point. First off, I don't think it should have been an elimination chamber at all. I think it should have been a tournament from Royal Rumble or
Yes.
elimination. One
I
of the two.
100% agree with
Going
you.
on to Mania.
You're
the
shoving a
crowd.
lot of tag teams in here. You're basically just going balls to the wall on this. Really. Honestly.
They don't have balls.
all risk.
That was a better joke.
You're going all risk and like moderate reward.
Here's my next question. There are a couple teams down in NXT that I would have liked to have seen go into this tournament instead, or the chamber.
Io Shirai.
Io Shirai and Kairi Sane were the
Kairi
first ones that
Sane.
came to
I
mind.
think after Mania, they might come up.
You
together.
have to.
I
You
think
have
at
to
least
bring up.
Kairi Sane is at least Kairi.
They
Sane.
could have easily replaced Fabulous Glow.
Yeah, they could have replaced them. Like they should have given the opportunity to an NXT team.
Fabulous. See, like that's my
there
point.
should have
You're
been
just throwing
There
together
should have been a
Naomi
nice,
and
neat
Carmella.
tournament between like the takeover of the takeover after Royal Rumble, like just the beginning.
There is none.
No, I'm saying they should have done this. They should have. To do like 4 teams and then the main event at one NXT night, which would have killed that show, and then they would have gotten the one spot.
I'm worried.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm worried that they made this and their hearts are in the right place, but I just worry that there's just going to be a lot of mistakes. Because of the messiness of this, and it takes a chamber match. I don't think you could have there's a chamber match. There's a lot of extremes of the chamber match. It's usually either very very good with good spots and good stuff, or it's usually rather disappointing because there's just so many people. And when you have a lot of good people in the ring or in the chamber, whatever you want to call it, it turns into something really really good. But you have it's just I'm worried, and I hope I'm wrong. I really really do, but I'm just worried that this might turn into a bit of a slog.
Do you think that this match will be before or after the other match?
I think
Will this be the first chamber match?
This is gonna be the last match, in my opinion.
I see. Again, that
Yeah,
also worries me. That's what also worries me.
I can see them throwing that, especially if it's the inauguration of the women.
Right.
That's the big.
This is what's panicking me. I feel like WWE has their hearts in the right place with this, but I'm worried. I'm worried about this. I've said that I've been worried about this women's tag team division because of how thin everything is, and I mean we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really do. Genuinely.
I'm gonna be honest here. Do you think there should have been any other teams in there instead? Like in my personal opinion, at least on the main roster, I personally think that you should have threw Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in there instead.
Yes, I agree. 'Cause
Yeah.
it makes more sense
Then
than
Fabulous Glow.
Well, don't even get me started
Fabulous
about how,
Glow.
like, what was it? Half the teams actually won a match to get in, and another half just, like, said we're in.
I think they
like,
should have done if they were going to do that, cross-branded.
This whole thing has been very
this
messy to me.
This
Yeah.
championship is cross-branded to begin with.
But they
which
should
is
have.
going to lay out the groundwork of title unification.
They should have done that, though,
Post-SummerSlam.
leading up to promote that this would be cross-brand, I think. Instead of getting double, tag teams, double, triple threat tag team matches, I think you should have threw some SmackDown teams on Raw to have them verse it out, and then some Raw teams verse it out on SmackDown.
I feel like this was very lazily done. You're throwing in half
Sounds
the
like
teams.
Evolution.
But yeah.
Or the Women's Royal Rumble.
You're throwing in half the teams, and then you're also just like throwing in Naomi and Carmella just because we need to face.
I'm not going to
wrestlers,
give WWE
you know?
an excuse on this, but I think the whole reasoning why they're kind of like haphazardly being lazy on this is because they're trying to focus so much on the main women's story and the main Brock story.
And
See,
Baron
that's why
versus
I
Braun.
I mean, that's kind of the reason why I think that's like why.
I
I'm
will-
not giving them a perfect excuse. I'm just saying. Like,
No,
that's
I know.
probably why.
I wouldn't have done this. It's just my personal. We're finally, and it took a while to get to a point where women's wrestling, just regular singles women's wrestling, has become very respectable, and you can, and especially and even better than the men, especially in Ronda, Becky, Charlotte's case. We're finally getting to that point, and it just worries me that now they're trying to double down, call it financially or whatever you want to call it, on this tag team thing. It just worries me. I don't want to go back to women's wrestling being undermined again. I think this is definitely the most interesting match on the card just because of all of these things, whether albeit good or bad. I'm curious to see how this goes. I really, really hope it goes well because this is a big risk here. They're rushing this in. They want to take advantage of it, but I don't know if it's ready yet, and we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
But any last words?
Fuck Charlotte.
So just to recap, we all have the same predictions on the
Boston
entire
Hug.
pay-per-view.
So this entire pay-per-view
Is a slog. Fantastic.
It means nothing.
You know what? That's what it should be.
Exactly.
That's what it should
I
be.
think the only difference we have is what? I think one. Do we want to do who's going to get most eliminations
Tamina.
in this one?
No, I think the group of Nia Jackson, Tamina is going to get the most eliminated.
I'm gonna throw my hat in that one too. It just makes sense. You got to give Nia something, you know.
Yeah, if they're not gonna win, then yeah, you gotta have to get them.
So
So like
the
they gotta
only
build them up.
I mean, they're big menacing,
so the only thing
heels.
that we
They're-
get is the men. So, I mean, if Joe responds and puts it in, I mean, what do we want to do? I don't know.
No,
No, absolutely
I
not.
don't want to be behind.
I want to take a knee on this pay-per-view, guys, and I want to move on.
Oh,
we
but
picked everyone to
Hold on.
retain.
He did respond, though. He did respond.
Who'd he pick?
Samoa Joe and Tamina.
There you go. I actually agree with Joe. Well, not the
So
Tamina
the only,
part, but
so I think the only difference is between me and you agree, and those two agree.
yeah, fine.
That's like the only. That's like the only thing.
I think
and
this is stupid. We shouldn't even.
no,
be
we're
doing
not.
we
We're
should-
not
we're not
using
going
it.
to.
Elimination Chamber is not on the level of Royal Rumble and Survivor Series when eliminations matter.
This thing's gonna suck.
It really is.
I think the men's elimination match.
What do you
is
think of
gonna
the
be-
belts? Do you guys?
I like them.
It's all right. Yeah,
I like them.
It's fine.
I think for like actual like unified like cross-branded belts, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're fine. I mean, yeah,
They
they're
look
fine.
better than some of the other belts.
Like the what pisses me off about the penny belts, and I guess that we can talk about that, is that they're basically the same thing with just different straps, and that pisses me off. It would look better if it had black straps. And there's also one tag team one. But that's besides
I
the point.
hate all of the main roster belts,
Jimmy, you look better in black straps.
Thank you.
like Viscera.
Like this. We're good. I knew that was coming. All right. Well, I think we did really well on time for the first time.
Rest in
And I
peace,
like that.
Viscera. I'm sorry about all the jokes, but you're just a funny man to make fun of. You were.
Oh, and I did look, and before I guess we could look this up. One, I did look up more into the Jimmy and Naomi story about the arrest. I have not found anything that Naomi was drunk in any situation.
So she was just.
So I think she might have. I think
thought
that
she was drunk. I'm pretty sure. I thought she was.
from what I
Why?
looked,
Because why did she go to? Because she went to jail too. The two
not,
of them.
Not
the
from the stories. All the stories have been saying
Uh,
Jimmy's been arrested.
Just a quick shout
maybe
out to
not
What
then.
Culture Wrestling. They just released a video saying, "Why is Asuka not on SmackDown?" Our feelings exactly.
Why? Here's why.
Let's just get through this pay-per-view and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone, for staying tuned to our podcast. Special shout out to the Sachem Public Library for the continued use of their equipment and space. Continue supporting us by rating and subscribing through Patreon, Audio Boom, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, Deezer, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, and the big three, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts at Marks for Life Podcast. Also, check out our YouTube channel, Marks for Life, for our podcast playlist and other content. Please follow us on our social media on Twitter at Marks for Life Pod, Instagram at Marks for Life Podcast, our Tumblr page, Marks for Life Podcast, and our Facebook page, Marks for Life Podcast. And email us at marksforlifepodcast@gmail.com for any comments, questions, or feedback. Until next time, Audio Marks.